The bond market continues to fascinate traders. Let's bring in Joe Tegay of Equity Armor Investments. And Joe, I know you're watching what's going on with the bonds. What can you tell us as far as inflation that might be on the way?
Yeah, the bond market is pricing in some high rates. People are worried about inflation, and that in turn will force the Fed's hand into raising rates down the line. Now, certainly this has happened before. People have been talking about inflationary risks for as long as I've been fascinated by the markets. You go back to the 90s, we had a really hot market. People were expecting inflation to take hold in the economy. That never materialized. You go back after the '08 crisis, there was a lot of stimulus thrown into the economy, just like this time around, and people were worried about inflation then, and that never materialized. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Right now, people are pricing it in again.
Another important aspect of this market is the NASDAQ. We see big selling and we see big buying and then we see big selling. Talk to us about what's happening there.
Yeah, this is something I've been focused in on all week. I was watching the NASDAQ's 50-day moving average, and last week we broke below it. We were back above it for a little bit this week, and it's really been playing a yo-yo below and above. And for me, it doesn't make a lot of sense because I don't know why one day is so vastly different from the next. There isn't a huge difference in the market, and there isn't a huge difference in the economy. I don't know what's causing this. Now, I do know there are some funds that take risk off below the 50-day moving average and put risk on above the 50-day moving average, and they're forced into some buying around those metrics. And I hope investors aren't getting chewed up by that. But for me, day to day, one day doesn't seem too different than the next. If you look at banks and some of the energy sectors, things like that, those markets seem a little more rational. Right now, the NASDAQ, there's some questioning going on there.
Thanks so much for your trader insights today, Joe.
Thanks for having me.
For more Business First AM, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.